The Prime Minister has pledged an extra $2 billion for bushfire recovery. The significant bolstering of disaster payments will see grants allocated over 2 years to help rebuild towns and farms. The bushfires are still raging and devastated communities are beginning to count the cost. Aside from the terrible loss of human life, businesses and livelihoods have been razed to the ground.
What we are focusing on here is the human cost and the rebuilding cost for people's lives.
The Morrison government's funding boost will be administered by the new National Bushfire Recovery Agency. It's added to existing income replacement payments and Australian Defence Force support and will be paid out over 3 budgets.
The $2 billion commitment is an additional commitment. It is an additional cost. It is an initial commitment, and if further funds are required, further funds will be provided.
After weeks of criticism for holidaying in Hawaii and a dramatic reception upon his return to bushfire-ravaged communities, then being forced to defend a delay in communicating ADF assistance, Scott Morrison's latest announcement has had a more positive response.
Well, I think the most important thing is that all these agencies work together. And whilst there's usually 50-50 funding splits, it's very pleasing to see the Prime Minister say that that doesn't have to apply here. Seeing the Prime Minister commit so keenly to doing more and to providing everything that we need, that is absolutely fantastic.
The Prime Minister also being defended by a predecessor. John Howard refusing to concede the current leader made any blunders in his bushfire response.
Well, I think a lot of the criticism is completely misplaced. I think he's done all the right things. He dealt with the issue of his holiday, and since he's been back, he's hardly drawn breath. But I think the last thing you could ever say about Scott Morrison is that he lacks compassion and empathy. I've always found him somebody who looks to people as individuals and cares about the human impact on individuals and their families.
Mr Howard also pushing for a sensible middle position when it comes to the nation's response to climate change.
What I'm saying is that's what the government's focus is. I've said on numerous occasions that the government will continue to work to meet and beat the commitments we've made for emissions reduction, as we will this year.